Hey guys, what's up? It's munclesonkey. So today I decided to try out the God Wars dungeon bosses because for those of you who haven't heard, yesterday what happened is Jagex added a spawn timer right to the instances of God Wars dungeon. So if you make yourself an instance, you can choose to make the bosses spawn really fast, and they really do spawn quite fast. I only tested out Saradomin. I haven't tested out the other three bosses, but I know all of them do spawn much faster than they used to. So you don't really have to world hop anymore. You still can do the world hopping method if you want, just for the Guthix's Blessing recharge after every single kill, I guess, if that's what you want to do at God Wars Dungeon. But it's so much easier now because you can just go in an instance, you don't have to find a world. And usually, at least in my experience with Melee, Saradomin would spawn before I killed all the minions, or I would just have killed all three minions and then Saradomin would spawn again. So it was pretty awesome, and I really had a blast. I haven't had this much fun in God Wars Dungeon since, I don't know, 2008 or something. But overall, basically the main things that I always hated about God Wars Dungeon personally was the long spawns, and also having to world hop between each kill so you didn't have to wait for spawns. And those two things have been eliminated. It's also very good XP. I kept track for 1 hour. I basically made an instance. It was the second time I made an instance, because the first time I made an instance, I got 2 effigy drops, and then I teleported out of the instance to open up the effigies, and it took away my instance, and I didn't realize it would do that. I thought I would just pop out of the instance, open up my 2 effigies, and then pop right back in really quick, and still continue with the hour of testing, but unfortunately I had to make a new instance after doing that. So, oh well, lesson learned. But on my second instance, I did check basically how much XP you were going to get an hour for doing this, and I wanted to see if this was like really good XP wise or not, and it actually is quite good. I was surprised how good the XP is at Saradomin. Now, I haven't tried out the other 3 bosses personally, and I can if you guys would like me to, as you see the second effigy pop up on the screen there. So if you're interested in videos about the other God Wars Dungeon bosses, just let me know, and I can definitely have that become a thing. But Saradomin, at least, I was getting about 500k XP per hour, so I thought that was pretty good. Just be warned that the whole Saradomin thing is quite hectic. Saradomin spawns very fast, so you kind of have to have high-level gear to be able to survive off Soul Split and not have to use much food and stuff. I was using Vampirism Scrimshaw and Soul Split pretty much the whole time, so it really did help out with the overall food usage, and I didn't have to use a whole lot of food. And then after I did my Melee trip, I tried out Magic, and I found that Magic is not as good as Melee. The main reason why is, for some reason, maybe it's just because I was wearing Virtus armor, and it would be a better experience in Sea Singer, but Saradomin was just destroying me, and I couldn't Soul Split it back unless I was in Sunshine. So unless I use Sunshine for a kill, I would have to eat food. Maybe I'm just bad, or maybe it's because with Legacy the armor has all changed and Virtus armor just isn't very good defensively, and maybe in Sea Singer I would have a better experience. But another thing that happened during my testing is I got a hilt. It's the first time I've ever had a hilt from God Wars Dungeon, and I don't even want to know how many hundreds of kills, but it finally happened. And if you guys remember, during my boss dropathon series, I did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Saradomin kills. Didn't end up getting a hilt, and then it just randomly happens when I went to test out God Wars Dungeon. So overall, I did 140 kills of Saradomin today, got myself a hilt, and made a decent amount of money. So let's price check the total gains today. So all in all, I did 2 Saradomin trips today, one with Melee, one with Magic. The general result is that the Magic is crap. I think Melee, even though you have worse magical defense than with Magic, and the Magic does tear you, and even though Magic armor supposedly, quote-unquote, has higher Melee defense, you just kind of don't deal as much damage output with Magic, so you can't heal it back quickly enough. Also, the Vampirism Scrimshaws with Melee really help. So if I go back to Saradomin, which I will eventually, I'll definitely be using Melee there in the future. And I'll probably also try out Tetsu, because from what I'm hearing from a friend, or a friend of mine, it's only about 5 seconds slower to kill Saradomin and all the minions using Tetsu, and you save a lot more food. So overall, we'll price check all the normal drops. Probably didn't make a whole lot. Saradomin is, in most people's opinion, the worst boss for drops other than the hilt. So really, if you're going to make good money here, you kind of have to get a hilt. Although I did make 2.2 mil, and it was in about 2.5 hours, so almost a mil an hour just in regular drops. That's decent, I guess. And then the kicker, the Saradomin hilt, 28 mil. First solo hilt, well, first hilt I've ever had in God Wars Dungeon to me. Never had one before in literally thousands of boss kills, and it finally happened. Also, 24 blue charms, which is really nice. So I basically made 30 mil in 2.5 hours, which is pretty good, but it did take a ton of Saradomin kills to finally make that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Go try out the God Wars Dungeon instances. It's really fast spawns. It's kind of hectic. It's kind of fun. And yeah, if you like God Wars Dungeon, or if you just want to make a return there and kill the bosses much faster, good XP too. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and farewell.